Puddle Lane, on the way to the Blue Mountains, the country of Zorn. North, south, east, west. Wide river, the fire lizards, hare, hills, rushing river, the bridge over the river, the old woman's house. The iron boy and the sandalwood girl landed here. On the way to the Blue Mountains. There was once an old house in Puddle Lane. The house had a clock in a little tower. A bell hung under the clock. A boy made of iron stood by the bell. He had a silver hammer, and he struck the time on the bell. But one night at 12 o'clock, the iron boy struck the bell 13 times, and suddenly he found that he could walk. The iron boy knew that a magician lived in the house. He climbed down the roof and went to see the magician. The magician sent him to the magical country of Zorn in a flying saucer. This story tells you what happened when he got there. North, south, east, west. The iron boy lay in the flying saucer, looking down over the edge. The moon was shining down, and he could see that the saucer was flying over a great forest. It seemed a long time before the forest came to an end, and the flying saucer flew down and landed on the grass in the country of Zorn. The iron boy climbed out of the flying saucer. He looked all around him. The moon was shining down. He was standing on the edge of the forest. In front of him, he could see rolling hills. The iron boy looked back at the trees. A big white owl flew over the treetops. The iron boy hid in the shadow of a bush and watched. The owl flew down to the grass near the iron boy, and a girl climbed off his back. "Goodbye, owl, and thank you," the girl said softly. "Goodbye," cried the owl. "The moon is going down. You must go west towards the moon." And he flew up into the sky. The girl looked around her. The iron boy stepped out into the moonlight. "Who are you?" cried the girl. She sounded frightened. "Don't be afraid," said the iron boy. "I'm a boy made of iron. I used to strike a bell on a clock in Puddle Lane, but one night I struck the bell 13 times and I found that I could walk. I went to see the magician who lived in the house, and he sent me here to the country of Zorn." "I know you," cried the girl. "I lived in the house in Puddle Lane. I heard the clock strike 13. I went to see the magician too. The magician sent me here on the owl's back." "I came in the magician's flying saucer," said the iron boy. "I'm looking for the Blue Mountains. I want to be like other boys. The magician said that if I wash in the Silver River, which is in the Blue Mountains, I shall no longer be made of iron. I shall become really alive like the boys in Puddle Lane." "The magician told me to find the Silver River too," said the girl. "I am made of sandalwood. I want to be like other girls. I must wash in the Silver River too." "Then let's go and look for the Silver River together," said the iron boy. "The magician said that it would be a dangerous journey. It will be safer for two than it would be for one. Will you go with me?" "Yes, I will go with you," said the sandalwood girl. "The owl told me to go west, where the moon is going down." "Let's do as the owl said," the iron boy. They set off together over the grass. The iron boy went first. He trod the grass down with his iron feet, so that the sandalwood girl could walk along easily. They had not gone far when they saw a light ahead of them. The light was shining out of the window of a little house. Let's go to the house, said the Iron Boy. We can ask the way to the Blue Mountains. They went to the door of the house and knocked. Who's there? Cried a voice. Who is knocking on my door at this time of night? A boy made of iron and a girl made of sandalwood, said the Iron Boy. We are going to the Blue Mountains. Can you tell us the way? A very old woman opened the door. She had white hair and dark brown eyes. She had a red shawl. She looked at them kindly. Dear me, she said, are you all alone? It's a long, long way to the Blue Mountains, and it's a dangerous journey. But we must go, said the Iron Boy. Come in and sit down, and I'll tell you the way, said the old woman. The Iron Boy and the Sandalwood Girl went inside the little house and sat down beside the fire. The Sandalwood Girl was careful not to sit too close to the flames. Now tell me about your journey, said the old woman, and she looked so kind that the Sandalwood Girl told her the whole story. Stay here until the sun comes up, said the old woman. Then you will see a river at the bottom of the hill. You must go down the hill to the river. It isn't the Silver River, is it? Asked the Sandalwood Girl. No, no, said the old woman. It's the rushing river. You will see a bridge. You must cross the bridge and follow the path that you find on the other side. The path will take you to the top of a hill. From the top of the hill, you can see the Blue Mountains. But be careful. The bridge is very old and the rushing river is very deep. The Iron Boy and the Sandalwood Girl stayed with the old woman until the sun came up. Then they went outside and looked down the hill. They could see the rushing river at the bottom of the hill. It was very wide and very full of water. There was an old wooden bridge over the river. They could see a path on the other side leading up to the top of a big hill. The Iron Boy and the Sandalwood Girl said goodbye and thank you. Then they went down to the river. They came to the bridge. It was a very old bridge and it was full of holes. They stepped onto the bridge. The bridge shook under them, but there was no other way to cross the river. Watch where you put your feet, said the Iron Boy. Don't fall in. I'm made of iron, and if I fell in, I should sink to the bottom like a stone. I'm made of wood, said the Sandalwood Girl. I can swim. I'll go ahead and see if the bridge is safe. So the Sandalwood Girl went over the bridge, and the Iron Boy went after her. They had just got to the middle of the bridge when the Iron Boy caught his foot in a hole and fell down with a crash. The bridge broke. The Iron Boy and the Sandalwood Girl fell down into the river. The Sandalwood Girl seized the Iron Boy as they fell. She remembered what he had said about sinking. She held on tight to the Iron Boy as they splashed down into the water. The river was running very fast, but the Sandalwood Girl didn't let go. She sank down under the water, but she didn't let go of the Iron Boy. She pushed her head up out of the water. She pulled the Iron Boy's head out too. She began to swim. Kick with your legs, she said to the Iron Boy. It will help to keep you up. So the Iron Boy kicked out with his legs, and the Sandalwood Girl held on to him. She just managed to keep their heads above water. The river was running very fast. The water splashed over the sandalwood girl, but she didn't let go of the iron boy. Her arms began to ache. She was getting very tired. Just when she thought that she couldn't hang on any longer, the iron boy said, "I can feel the ground. One of my feet is on the stones." A tree was growing by the river. The iron boy seized the root of the tree. The sandalwood girl climbed out of the water and onto the root, and the iron boy climbed up beside her. "We are safe," said the sandalwood girl. "We are safe on the other side." They climbed along the tree root and onto the grass on the riverbank. Then they sat in the sunshine to dry. They could see the bridge. The bridge was so broken that they couldn't have gone back even if they had wanted to. So as soon as they were dry, they climbed the hill just as the old woman had told them to. When they came to the top of the hill, they stopped. They stood still and looked. Far away, very far away, they saw the blue mountains.